Hey, it's Ella. Thank you for being here with me. So, it is already Thursday night, and that means that tomorrow we have a half day. Woo! um, but we have a lot of work to do because we are going to get kind of that free time in the afternoon um, to spend it with our groups, making sure that our sequences are, um, you know, where they need to be or where we want them to be, that kind of thing. Um, so our group met today, and everything went great. By the way, no problems. Everything was fine. So yeah, I don't know. Everything was great. So we divided up the different sections. And so I am going to be giving or teaching some standing poses. So my section comes just before the peak of the class where we do the most difficult pose and the most challenging pose that requires the body to be completely warmed up and open. So I have I have picked four poses to do in 15 minutes. So I have to work on the timing for that and see if, 15 minutes is too much time, if it's enough time, that sort of thing. So I need to work on that. I also need to work on actually cueing how to get into those poses. So there's a little bit of finesse to that because you want to be very clear and actually quite concise with your instruction for telling people what they need to do, how they need to move their body to get into the next pose. So um and also like what should you be mindful of as you're in that pose, as you're getting into that pose, that sort of thing. There's a lot to think about. So, anyway, um, it's super exciting. So, one of the other things that we got to experience today was one of the super famous teachers at the yoga barn in Bali. It's really close to here, honestly. Anyway, and I have not been yet. So I'm going to make that my mission to actually go and take one of Paul's classes before I leave. I may try and do multiple classes just to check it out and see what it's like. I don't know. I'm going to look at the schedule here in a little bit and see what I think. Um, Personally, I feel like I have the very best instruction that I could possibly have right here in this program that I'm in. But it's always fun to check out how other people teach, especially people who have built a huge, huge following for themselves, like Paul. So his name is Paul Teodo, and he's an American. He's from LA, actually. And well, I don't know if he's from LA, but he lived in LA for a long time, and he was an actor and a model, and like sounds like kind of a typical LA person, honestly. But he and his wife actually live in Bali, and they're both yoga teachers. I think that's fascinating. So he actually came and spoke to us today about the business of being and becoming a yoga teacher. So, and all of the information that he gave us today, I recorded it just to have a voice recording. I'm pretty sure I was not the only one who was recording, but it's actually available. The content basically that he spoke to us about is available through Yoga East West on their website. So, and I had actually, I didn't realize that the content of this online course, I didn't realize, I had no idea that he was going to be coming to our training and speaking to us personally about it. But I actually purchased the course separately. I didn't realize that I would get the online course for free as part of my tuition that I already paid for the yoga teacher training. So um, they were kind enough to go ahead and submit a refund for me today once I realized that, oh, I didn't realize so I already paid for it. So I'll be getting a little bit of money back in the bank, which is nice. Always very useful, especially right now. So, um, but he had a lot of really good things to say, lots of really great advice. So I look forward to kind of reviewing his the recording that I have, and hopefully the sound won't be too terrible. So I look forward to reviewing that. I also really look forward to, watching the course once I return from Bali and going through it, because a lot of it is, what to do in the first 30, 60, 90 days after you become a certified teacher, and really what to do in your first year. Um, and then some general tips and tricks. And then also, um, he talked a little bit about private yoga sessions and, kind of how to go about that, how to start that, how to talk about it, advertise for it, that sort of thing, as well as retreats, yoga retreats. And so, yeah, pretty cool. Really useful stuff, really interesting. And I'm just thinking about my life, and how my life is evolving and changing, and how exciting it is, and how excited I am. And I've also gotten some just beautiful feedback uh, from people that, we've been practicing teaching. And so we practiced some more this afternoon, and this time we got to practice in front of the whole class. It wasn't just practicing in front of half the class, we were practicing in front of the whole class. So each one of us had one pose that we taught, and we just kind of went down the line. So we were assigned a pose basically. And honestly, the pose that I was assigned, I was like, I don't remember us ever going over this. What's really funny is that I have a whole bunch of notes written by this pose, and I'm like, obviously I was not only there, but I was aware and taking notes in the notebook, but I genuinely don't remember going over this pose. It's been intense. It's been an intense few weeks, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I know that because I have all these notes that, I was clearly paying attention, and wow, okay then, I don't know, So I was like I couldn't remember, like, is the like, is the starting position for your feet, is it warrior one or warrior two? Because from the picture alone, it's really hard to tell, honestly, um, with the hip placement and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay. Anyway, so I was feeling a bit nervous and actually not that confident in my ability to actually teach the pose. But once I got into it, I was like, okay, now I feel, I feel better. I feel like, okay, I know, what to do, whatever. Well, so then once I kind of had my first initial, like, blah, 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 like, just, bleh, I just, kind of screwed up. And once I did that, then I was fine. But, between over the last couple of days, I've had some really nice comments made to me about, like, just basically that, like, Ella, you're going to be a great teacher. You already are a good teacher. And so it's really nice to hear that. It's wonderful. It's an excellent vote of confidence. Um, and I would actually say I would literally go to a yoga class that anyone in our teacher training is giving. Literally every single person um, is they every single person brings something to the practice. They bring something to teaching, and it's confident. There's a lot of, I mean, it's just quality people have come to this yoga teacher training, and it has been really a special and life expanding, life changing experience. And I'm just so deeply grateful. I just can't say enough how grateful I am that I decided to take this leap. I have never felt, I won't say never, but I haven't felt like something was this right for me in a very long time. I mean, it's just been a very long time. So, um, yeah, I feel that in my, all the way to my core. I feel it in my bones. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. So, yeah, and actually, one of the assistants. Well, okay, and actually, the main teacher, Deep, um, he actually told me that he can see a difference in my body, the way I'm moving in and out of the poses, and that like he can see my posture looks different. Everything basically is improving. I feel that too. Um, I do. I feel it. I'm not seeing differences in my body just yet, but it's really helpful to know that other people are seeing it. And so, I mean, I'm feeling differences when I'm in poses. I definitely feel different. I feel much better, much stronger, more flexible, more limber, more open, everything. But I'm not visually seeing a lot at this point in time. So, but yeah, Deep, the main teacher, he has said that to me. And then actually, Megan, one of the assistants who is, she's actually a 500-hour certified yoga teacher. Um, so she did a 200-hour, and then she actually came and did a 300-hour, which 300-hour goes more in depth. It's even more intense. Most of the people who come to a 300-hour are already certified. So it's, you're learning alongside a bunch of other yoga teachers. Um, and, you do more complicated poses, you focus more on that. So anyway, but she actually told me that she sees and believes that I am going to be a very good yoga teacher. And I was like, that means a lot. It does. It means a lot. She says that she felt like I bring something really special to the table, that an authenticity and a calming, a calming nature, which I've been told that a bunch over the course of my life, especially as I've gotten older, that I'm very calming to be around. Um, that is until I get excited, and then I'm like, ee! And then it takes people off guard, like, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't realize that you were so easily excitable. And I'm like, well, I am. So get used to it. So whatever. I am a Gemini after all. So anyway, so it's really nice to hear that. Um, and so one of the other classmates was asking me this evening about, how did I decide, what made me decide to still pursue teaching in some form, but just like not, to kind of pull myself out of the career that I was in. So I knew that I wanted to teach in some form or fashion, and I also knew that if I didn't get out from behind the computer screen, I was possibly going to lose my love of teaching forever. Um, I just couldn't do it in a corporate setting anymore, certainly, but I also couldn't do it where it's focused on computer work or working with or through a computer for most of the day. I just couldn't do it anymore. I can't. I'm just like, yes, I'm very good at it. I'm certainly well versed in it. I've certainly done lots and lots of things, and I'm actually quite computer savvy. And it was making me nuts. I mean, it was making me kind of lose my mind, and to the point where it exacerbated all the things that I already struggle with. And it just made my enjoyment of life plummet, like oops, in like into the basement. Basically, I was just not enjoying life anymore, and not actually able to enjoy the profession that I have loved for so long. So I knew that I wanted to teach. I just also knew that I couldn't teach, webinars or whatever, like anymore. Now, webinars now and then is fine, but in a corporate setting, though, like there's still like that whole corporate structure that you have to deal with, and you have to manage it, and you have to roll with it, and you have to, appreciate and comply with the chain of command, and constantly changing, priorities, and just I just couldn't do it anymore, y'all. Okay. So basically I was like, well, what could I do? What could I teach where I would be able to just work with people and work with individuals again, preferably face to face, and doing something that's more literally hands on. Well, yoga fits that really well. And then this morning, when we were talking about kind of the logistics of how to be a good yoga teacher, like, how to set up your studio or your time in the studio, like a lot of things, basically. Megan shared one of the things that our philosophy teacher, Vijay, said during the 300-hour yoga teacher training that she attended. So he said, you don't choose yoga, yoga chooses you. And it's still, that's absolutely right. Because this practice, you can literally heal your body. You can literally heal your body using yoga. And not only heal your body, but heal your mind and your heart as well. I mean, it is such a holistic practice. And I don't know, it just I'm on the verge of losing it. Because I'm just realizing how right that is. Yoga has chosen me. And it's like I finally, I've had this dance with yoga for so many years of like, yeah, yoga's great, it's great. And then, like forget about it, or not do it, not practice, actively not practice it, have all my yoga gear like shoved in a corner where I look at it, but I don't actually touch it. that sort of thing. Like, yeah, yeah, I've done that dance for years. And finally, I'm I'm ready to actually join the party, you know? I'm ready to get on stage and dance the dance for real, you know? Um, the timing, I don't know, the timing couldn't be better. It's just it's the right time. It's the right thing, and I am super super excited about it. So, the other thing is that I wanted to share today. Um, I feel like I could probably just go on talking for a long time. In case you hadn't noticed, like I have kind of found my energy again. I don't know if it's that I'm finally drinking enough water, or if my body has finally gotten used to basically sweating constantly from the moment that I set foot outside of this hotel room till the time that I set foot back in it. I'm just sweating all the time, constantly. So I don't know if my body has just finally gotten used to that or what, but also I have been consciously not pushing myself to be at 100% participation whenever we are doing a lot of physical activity. So, between all of those things, my energy is much, much better than it was for the first like week and a half that I was here. So, yay. So, but also, I feel more energized coming, as this journey is culminating. And, I can kind of see the light at the end of this very interesting and luscious tunnel. But it's the journey is coming to an end. This journey of the teacher training is coming to an end soon, and very soon. And so I'm starting to get excited about life and the way that my life is going to change and be different once I return to the States. And I just feel a renewed sense of purpose. And I just absolutely, I know that this was the right thing. And getting that reinforcement, multiple times a day really, makes it awesome. So, my knee, by the way, is totally fine. Fortunately, I do have a pretty sweet bruise on my patella, on the kneecap, but it was a clean hit. So it's just a bruise. It's a little tender when I put pressure on it, but other than that, it's not bothering me. So yay for that. It could have been so much worse. So, yeah, everything with my group is good. All the group dynamics are just totally fine, thankfully. Um, and uh, there was something else that I was like, yeah, there was one other thing, and now it's escaping me for some reason. Let's see if I can remember it. Do, 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 do. uh, I guess I don't remember. I'm sorry. I really don't remember. Um, oh, I do remember now. So, our teacher, Deep, uh, is is going to be conducting a yoga teacher training, a 200-hour yoga teacher training next year in 2021 in Morocco. And I spoke to him this afternoon about, I have wanted to go to Morocco since the days when I lived in the Boston area. So it's for 20 years. Um, So, quick story. When I lived there, um, I lived too far out of the city of Boston to be able to use the T or subway system there. But I rode the commuter rail oftentimes. I would ride the commuter rail to get into the city. And the commuter rail would come into South Station, and which is where also all the Amtrak trains and everything would come in. But it was also a subway or T stop. So kind of basically a huge hub in Boston. So in downtown. And one of the places that they had in the main um, concourse, if you want to call it that, um, was an Oban pen. So at this particular Oban pen, it was entirely employed or by, well, anyway, everybody who worked there basically was Moroccan. And they were all either already friends or family. Some, a couple of them were brothers. But basically, they over time they befriended me. They noticed that I came through every day at about the same time. This was back when I was a brand new travel agent working at a call center in downtown Boston. So they noticed that I was coming through every day and that I wouldn't always get something to eat. And but I would always linger. I would always like hang around and like look at the menu and look at the food and be like, "Oh, I'm so hungry." It didn't take them long to realize, like, so I like we started kind of chatting each other up and just friendly conversation. And so it didn't take them long to figure out that I literally wasn't earning enough money to eat dinner every night. So this was back when, I mean, I think my salary was something like $20,000 a year, and it's like you can't live in Boston. Like even in 1999, you couldn't live in Boston making that. There was no way. Um, so yeah, so I didn't always eat dinner, but I would always be like, because a lot of times, because they would bake fresh bread every day, a lot of times if I was there like towards the end of the night when they were about to shut down, I would just sort of hang around because they would have a lot of food that they wouldn't be able to sell. And so they, a lot of times they would have to, whatever, they would have to dispose of it in one way or another. So they would give me free food. And so once they figured out that I was not able to afford a meal, a lot of the time they gave me free food almost every day, basically. They literally kept me fed for a long time. And they were just genuinely caring and nice and fun. And, they loved to talk about home. And, that group of guys was actually, and, they were always so very kind, very respectful. I never, I never felt anything but comfortable around them. And, they were actually one of the reasons why I was able to live in that area of the country for so long, because I didn't have any family up there and I had to find family. And that was, I was in my early 20s. I didn't know what that was like to create family. I didn't quite understand. So those guys, they really helped me stay grounded and stay sane, as long as I did. And so I looked forward to seeing them every day. And it wasn't really about the food. It was about the community. It was about just getting to talk with them and joke with them and have a laugh and, learn more about Morocco. And, at the time they were teaching me some Arabic, and I forgot it all, by the way. It's a very difficult language to learn. It's a beautiful language. I love hearing it spoken, but it's challenging to learn. Um, anyway, it's like they kind of carried me through. They were one of the entities, the groups of people essentially who carried me through that time of my life. And they made me want to visit Morocco so badly. And so I've always wanted to go. And so, anyway, that really is not a quick story, huh? I'm not good at telling stories quickly, in case you hadn't figured that out yet. Um, so anyway, when I found out that Deep is going to be doing a 200-hour teacher training in Morocco, I was like, I'm going to ask if he would have me as an assistant. So you don't get paid, but you get a lot of experience and you get to be there, and it's one of those things where, like, I wouldn't go to Morocco by myself, really, unless I had a reason to go, unless I had a thing to do while I was there, because it's just not a place that I would feel comfortable, sightseeing and completely exploring on my own. But going with, for a purpose, that changes everything for me, in my mind. So I'm like, you know what? I am going to set that as a goal, basically. I talked to him about it, and I was like, I'm going to keep, I am going to become a teacher, and I am going to actually, oh, this is the other thing, I actually have a little announcement to make. I am going to be continuing to develop my own practice. And, he's like, yeah, that I would love to have you as an assistant, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm manifesting that, because it's going to be either April or May of next year. So the dates haven't quite been set yet, but it is happening. So, anyway, so that's one thing. The other thing is that, I have decided that, even though, maybe I already talked about this. I don't remember. Sorry, please forgive me. I've decided that even though I still struggle with the way that my body looks, especially when I'm in yoga clothes, essentially, like, or whatever, like when I'm scantily clad, in my mind, I'm scantily clad. I've decided that I'm going to start posting my yoga journey on my YouTube channel. So in addition to a video every day for me where I'm talking, I'm going to also start posting my yoga flow, like what I do for yoga, for multiple reasons. Part of it is that I would like to track my own progress. I would like to see what I look like when I'm in certain poses, because I don't know, I don't have a big mirror anywhere, and there are no mirrors here at the Shala where we are. So yeah, I want to do that. But also I feel like, it might, if it just helps even one person, to be like, oh, this person is, this person is fat and she's doing yoga, so maybe I could do it too. I know that there are a lot of people doing it already, but most of them are kind of in the Instagram world, and I just I just can't. I just can't. I just can't even with Instagram. Okay, I like to kind of scroll now and then, but I have a hard time getting into it because the perfectionism is just, it's palpable. I mean, it's like if your photos or videos are not on point and professional looking and all that kind of stuff, it's like, you're not going to build your audience, you're not going to build your brand. And quite frankly, I don't care about that. What I do care about is I I very much want to help people, and I don't feel that Instagram is the way to do that. Not for me. If it works for other people, that's fantastic. But that's not something that resonates with me. So I'm going to try the YouTube route and see how I go. So there you have it. Um, that was a long look at me. I've done another long video again. So, oops. Um, anyway, at least this one was kind of packed with stuff. So hopefully it was interesting to watch all the way through. Um, yeah, anyway, I am very, I'm just, I'm in a really, really good place in case that's not obvious. Um, it's been quite the roller coaster ride. Um, and, you know, I'm just in a good place. So I feel good. I feel solid, and I feel ready for this next phase of my life, and I'm genuinely excited about it. So, anyway, thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you tomorrow.